Hey everyone, it's that Math Magician. On this video, we're going to continue our conversation about circles, but this time we're going to focus solely on how to find the area for a circle. Now again, if you have not yet watched the definition and introduction video, I highly recommend you stop this video and you go watch that other video because it's going to depend on some of those key components of a circle that I'm not going to cover in this video. So, go watch that video, and if you have already, then you're good. Let's go ahead and jump into this example video and let's see how we can find the area of this circle here. Notice that the circle has a radius, that is the radius. I'll go ahead and mark that as R. We know it's the radius because it's going from the center of the circle to the outside. Remember, the diameter goes the entire length, end to end, but that's half of it. So our radius is 7 centimeters. Now we want to find the area for this circle. Well, just like with the circumference video before this, we have an area formula as well for a circle. And that formula is area equals pi r squared. Right there is going to give you the area for any circle that you come across. Notice the only piece of information you need for your circle is the radius. You're going to take that number, you're going to square it, and then you're going to multiply it by pi. Well, for us, we have a radius of 7 centimeters. So if I'm trying to find the area of this circle here, I know that I'm going to have pi times r squared, and my radius here is 7. So I have 7 squared, 7 times 7. So that will end up equaling 49. Don't forget to include the pi on it. We cannot forget that. And we're going to have centimeters squared. Please recognize that we are finding the area of the circle. So your units now change to the squared version. Centimeters squared, or inches squared, feet squared, yards squared, whatever your unit is. Be sure to change that to the squared version. And again, just like in our video for circumferences, we're leaving this in pi form. We don't actually have to multiply 49 by pi. We would end up with some number and a decimal place with a bunch of other numbers going on to infinity, but we don't need to do that. Instead, pi form is a lot cleaner, and as we start to work on a couple more complex problems, it'll make it easier that we have it in pi form. So, that's one example. Let's try another example of how we can find the area of this circle. This time, instead of knowing the radius, I'm instead going to give us the information on its diameter. So we see that that's the diameter. It's going through the center of the circle. And we know that this diameter equals 18 meters. Now, please be careful. When you're given a circle and you're asked to find the area and you're given the diameter, make sure you do not make the mistake of taking the diameter and plugging that into the value for the radius. Remember, we're trying to find the radius up here. We need the radius to get the area. We do not need the diameter. Luckily for us though, we remember that the radius is half of that diameter. So if the diameter is 18 meters, then the radius here is only 9 meters. So I can go ahead and for this formula here, I know that I need to plug in a 9 and not an 18. Do make sure you're checking your work when you're doing this because you can see these formulas don't require that much work. So oftentimes when formulas don't require that much work, we tend to move quickly through them, and that's when mistakes happen. Always be sure for the area formula that we're putting in the radius. So 9 squared is going to give me 81. I'm going to put the pi on there. We're dealing with meters squared on this problem, and we're leaving it in pi form. Now you might be thinking to yourself, oh, the circumference had 2 formulas, one for the diameter, one for the radius. Maybe area does, but it doesn't. Okay, there's not another formula we're going to look at. We're only going to deal with this one here. Area equals pi r squared. But as you should know by now, the diameter is 2 radii. Right? We know that the radius is just half of the diameter. So as long as you're given the diameter, cut it in half. That's the number you want to use in our formula. It's that Math Magician, and I'll see you on the next video.